Hey guys, good morning. This is the third installment on the 51 GMC project. We're doing it start to finish. Like I said, this is the third one, so the first two, if you subscribe to the channel, you can catch them. And if you hit the little bell, you won't miss any of the future steps along the way. So we're doing this whole project complete, start to finish. This truck has been sitting in a ditch for 30 years. The cab is pretty rough, but the frame is good and solid. So today we're going to be pulling the engine transmission and cleaning up the frame, get it ready to start boxing it in. We might get some of that done, and depending on how things go, might even start figuring out motor mounts. So should be cool. Yeah, so subscribe, damn it. Anyway, let's get after it. Okay, so I cut out all the pedals and linkages and all that other crap that was in my way. There's two bolts that hold the tranny in. They're in these little pockets right here, here, and over there. I don't know if you can see that. These little pockets were just crammed with grease and crap and stuff. It took me 10 minutes to dig it out with a screwdriver just to expose the bolts. So remove those two bolts. There's 4 bolts holding the torque tube to the transmission. Actually, this one only has 3 because one is missing down here. So we're going to get those out, and we've got to take out, there's a couple of bolts in the front going up from underneath the cross member, and we should be able to hook a couple of chains up to this thing, use the cherry picker, and yank this sucker out of here. So I'll probably go time lapse to show the engine removal, and we'll be back after that. Okay, so it's out. It wasn't as easy as it looked. To give me a bit of a battle. Problem is that I don't have enough room to turn my my cherry picker around. The front wheels are stationary; they don't swivel, so all the steering is done from the back wheels. I had a hell of a time maneuvering it over here, but we got her anyway. This is a later Model 6. It's not the original. I'm gonna say probably mid-late 60s. So I think what happened here is they swapped this motor in and didn't finish it. That's why the rad wasn't hooked up. Fuel lines weren't hooked up, a few other things. So I think they just got it in the hole, and that was it. So I got to get rid of this thing. I don't want it in here. I'm gonna put it up if anybody wants it. It'll be cheap, and if it doesn't go soon, it's going out anyway. So that's the end of that. I need the space, so I can't have that thing sitting around here for any length of time. So got stinky ass gear oil all over the place, so I got to clean all that up. Looks like a crime scene under there. Anyway, so now I can get it cleaning up this frame. So I want to get rid of all these, all these lines, wires, anything like that. The shock mounts have to go. The shocks are gone. Any pieces like this stuff, all that stuff, it's all going to go. I'm going to remove the running board brackets off the side of the frame for now anyway. I want to clean this thing right up. And so that's what we're going to get after next. It's pretty grungy, but like I said, it's solid. You know, it's surface rust and grime on it, so it's yeah, it's a good base to start with. So I'm gonna have to run a Canadian Tire. I need some discs and a few other things. So when I get back, we'll get after this. Okay, so I cleaned up that big pile of shit that was even bigger than last time I showed you. It's mild outside, so I brought it outside. So that's I work on my Model A fenders at night, and I'm working on building a whole brand new pile of shit here. So this is all stuff that was caked in mostly on this frame rail, the left side, but it's coming along pretty good. I'm going to I took the shock bracket and shock off. The other side I got to do yet. I'm also going to remove this little bracket here. It's for your brake flex line. I'm going to save it though, because I'm going to reuse it. I'm just not sure how that's going to, if it's going to interfere with the cross member or not. So I can always just bolt it back on later. No big deal. This cross member here is too far forward. My engine's going to sit in this area here, and the back of my transmission is probably going to come somewhere to about here. So this is in the way. I'm going to grind off the rivets, knock them out, and this one bolts in. I'll unbolt that one, and we'll slide them both back. I might be able to repurpose one of these for the transmission cross member, but we'll see. And yeah, I'm just going to carry on cleaning up. But it's coming along, you know, and you can see the steel, it's in good shape. And speaking of steel, I went and picked up some plate at my local steel shop. I probably should have got more, but I have enough to get going. You know, usually they have a cut-off pile near their the big shear, and you know, you go in and offer them a few bucks cash, and they'll fix you up with a few pieces. So that's what I do, and yeah, just going to carry on, keep on going until I can start boxing in that frame. Okay, so I'll show you what's involved here. Almost all these little things, everything is on with a rivet. There's 2 rivets right here. Now the way I get rid of them is I grind them flush, like here. These are in the same location. Grind them flush, and then I take a wedge and I just drive it in there. You can see how it's coming apart. There we go. That was a battery box. So now then I can just drive these out, either using, you know, using the air chisel or zip gun, or just pound them with a hammer and a punch or whatever. Anyway, these are ready to knock out. So I'm going to do the same thing here. You know, I think there's 32 of these that I've knocked out of here already. Figure, you know, to grind them down, knock them out, clean it up, 10 minutes a piece. So you got a full day's work just taking out rivets and cleaning up. So I'm going to carry on. Okay, look at the carnage here. Unbelievable. I don't know how many rivets I ground and knocked out. I lost count around 70. I mean, just the one cross member that's on the floor over there. There were 24 rivets in that thing. It's 3 pieces. Like where the hell did they think it was going? But anyway, a couple things. Just going to run a wire brush wheel inside the rail, and a couple things I did do. I also knocked out the rivets and replaced them with bolts. That's for the spring mount down here. I'm going to leave an access opening when I go to plate it, and that way there I just have to, you know, when I want to remove the whole front end, there'll be 4 bolts, couple whacks with a hammer, maybe cut the pins on the shackles, and boom, the whole front end will be out in about 10-15 minutes. Also, I took the cab mounts off, and I cleaned and painted up the area where they're going to go. I just wanted to seal up the where the surfaces meet. When it's all plated and I'm done welding everything and doing all the stuff on it, I'm going to be doing the whole frame in epoxy. Also, before I plate that, I'm going to put some of this stuff on it. What do we got here? There. It's called rust converter. I've used it before. You spray it on surface rust, and it kind of just turns black. You can paint it. It just seals everything up. So yeah, we'll get a shot of that on there, and I'm gonna start cutting my plate, get those cab mounts back on, and clean up this freaking disaster. Jesus, man, how much crud can there be on one vehicle? Anyway, so that's where I'm at, and I'll be back when I get that plate cut and fitted in place. Okay, so I cut my piece and I tacked it in. What I did at first, step in here. I cut this piece a little bit oversized, clamped it on to it was flush at the top, and because the frame curves upwards here, I just ran my Sharpie along the bottom and trimmed it. Cut my access hole for my two, see if you can see that, 2 bolts, and put a little curve on the end of it. When they just cut them straight up and down, it looks like it doesn't belong. So you put a little curve in like that, and it looks more like something that would come out of the factory. It looks like it's supposed to be that way. So I wanted to make this piece fit between the top and the bottom rail, and the reason for that is because I want to be able to weld from the side instead of overlapping and welding top and welding up from the bottom, because every time I weld up, I catch myself on fire, and catching yourself on fire can be uncomfortable. So that's why I did it that way. So it's all tacked in. I'm gonna finish burning it in, clean everything up, and yeah, then I got to do the exact same thing on the other side. I made I traced another one using that piece. So I traced it onto this piece of steel here. So I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So that's where I'm at, and once I get these in, I'm ready to get my mock-up engine out and get it in place and fabricate some motor mounts. So that's where I'm at. Okay, so that's what she looks like, all finished off. Pretty clean looking. It came out good, wasn't bad. There's a lot of work to get to this point, but got a little bit more to clean up over here. And then we get to do it all over again on the other frame rail. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, then once I get both rails closed in, I'm going to wheel out my mock-up engine and get it, in where it's supposed to be, roughly, and get going on fabricating some motor mounts. Get that sucker mounted. Then tranny cross member next. And then I guess, we'll move to the rear axle. So I'm hoping I get some front end parts very soon. We'll see what happens with that. And so it's going to keep chugging along. Okay, well, it's getting late and it's ice cold pop time, so cheers. Man, it was a lot of work to get to that point, but we're there now. So in the next video, we'll get on those motor mounts, maybe the tranny cross member. And, if you want to follow this project and check it out, start to finish, we're doing everything. This is only the third video, so you haven't missed much, and you can, if you subscribe, you can go back and check those out. Subscribe, hit the little bell, you know the routine. Tell your buddies, spread the word, man. So let's get it rolling out there. You can check us out on Facebook, Dirty Dan's Ride and Cycle on Facebook, and there's been a little bit of discussion about whether this truck is a GMC or a Chev. A lot of guys, most guys actually, are saying it's a Chev. I'm leaning towards it being a Chevy also. What tricked me at first was the GMC badging on the hood, but I can tell already that the badging isn't original to that hood either. There's mounting holes that are different, and you can see them. So I'm thinking it's a Chevy, but I'm going to find out for sure and clear it up in the next video. Let's keep everybody happy and know what we're building. Chevy would be easier anyway. There's more trim pieces and stuff available for Chevy than there is GMC. So it might be a little easier. What else? Yeah, we're supposed to get our last gasp of very cold weather tonight, and it's supposed to start warming up. So spring's on its way, man. I hope. So, and if you don't do anything else, man, get out in the garage and build something, man. Later, guys.